Before we move to our conversation panel with some young leaders, I wanted to quickly ask Anastasia Delasio on that segue from the United Nations Foundation to just tell us a few words, a little bit more about, as we move into this panel, about the Plus Social Good community and how it really is another convener and stakeholder for many different voices. So Anastasia, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We're so excited to partner with CSIS for an event for International Youth Day. Youth is just incredibly important to the UN and to the UN Foundation in general. So without further ado, I'd like to formally, I guess, announce the next panel. A lot of great young change makers, some of whom are already members of the Plus Social Good community and have been responsible for helping to create really wonderful content and blogs and other events around issues relating to youth and to how we can use technology and innovation to better shape the future of the world. So I'd love to call on the next panel, Manyang, Ramona, and Com.
Well, welcome guys, welcome to the second panel. I'd like to start off by thanking Nicole Golden for the opportunity to moderate this panel today and for putting me on the list. I've now gained 2 Twitter followers as a result, so I'm pretty delighted about that. If nothing else good comes out of this day, that's pretty positive. I'm sharing the stage today with 2 really incredible people who really are at the forefront of these issues and are kind of really on top of this. My own experience myself, I'm CSS's resident migrant. I came here from Ireland 2 years ago and can speak to kind of a personal level of the experience that a migrant feels and goes through coming to a new country. But I really think these people are fantastic. Manyang is the founder and CEO of Humanity Helping Sudan project. He's going to talk a little bit about that. And Ramona Dragomir is the Atlas Core Fellow at International Association for Volunteer Effort. So we're going to begin. I want to kind of touch off what Manuel and also what Nancy was talking about surrounding the positivity that migration has and it can be seen in that kind of light. And would you be able to talk us through a little bit your organization, how you feel about it, and what your thoughts are?
Well, different from different people. Some people see migration very bad, and some people see it in a good way. So when you enter to the country, if you're from Africa, people are gonna think that, oh, you may be sick, or you may have disease or thing like that, or you may be like somebody that's like vulnerable and cannot help each other and cannot help anything. He has nothing to offer to the continent. He has nothing to offer to anybody. So there's like a negative, and some people see, okay, you from Africa, you may know a lot of things and some stuff. It's like a different from place to place. And that's the hard part of coming to a new place.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Some like stupid misconceptions about Africans. And it's a video that Manyang has posted of himself, talking about the cliches that people think that Africans are like, and these kind of ignorances that kind of flow across borders. What do you think are the obstacles towards integration when this migration happens?
Well, there's a lot of things because when I come here, I didn't know a lot of people, so I only know my flight. So 167. That's my flight number. So I didn't know a lot of people. So when I enter here, one thing I remember is going to school. It's still I tell a lot when I speak on a different thing. So I was running a track, and there was a girl named Kaylee Cooper, and she was running with me, and then out of nowhere she pulled her ad out. And then she said, do I look, can I run like that? Do I look good? I say, no. Now she's really mad. I say, why? She said, you don't say like that. I say, okay, I thought you were asking me like seriously. I didn't know. I didn't know I have to lie. And if I have to do that, okay. And everybody asks me, do I look good? I say, yeah.
Always compliment the woman's hair.
Yeah, you're always good. So that's the thing that people have a conception about Africa. They will ask you, do you speak clicks? And it's like, thing like that. They will ask you like that, something they saw on TV.
Yeah.
And okay, is Africa a country, is a continent? They didn't know languages or thing like that. So And they will ask you things like that, but when you ask them something different, they get mad. And they didn't know the same thing that's applied. Like you have some things, and somebody can ask you the same thing. So it's like a lot of negative. But right now, people trying to understand Africa differently. If you go to school, like 5 years ago, I enrolled at the University of Richmond, and African study was not very popular. But today, if you go, you will see a lot of African study are getting more students going there because they know, oh, I think we must learn so many things out of it, and people get to know that the thing is changing a little by little now. And that's when you have to know that, okay, there's a lot of change coming, and people want to be educated more about Africa than the Africa they used to know in 1960, a man killing animals and like a lion and things like one picture they see for over the lifetime and never change. And there's going to be an HIV and AIDS and things like people, okay, from Africa, you may have HIV and AIDS. I never get sick. I was born in Africa and lived there for 17 years. I never get sick. Honestly, I never did. I never, yeah, and it's honest, true. I never get sick. I get cold when I come here because it's cold. yeah, but that's the kind of situation you get yourself into. Even if you form an organization, people are going to ask you, where the organization going to work? Is there going to be war? What if somebody get attacked and burn your office? Okay, burn it. I mean, people who live there in Africa, they need help. When there's war, there's a lot of need for help. Then people who just live in peace. And I'm not going to scare about people, okay, they're going to burn my office and they're going to run everything down. I mean, if you don't build anything, who will build it? And if you don't try to change things, who will change it? And, you get stuck down and everything. Okay, where's the money going to go if the government change? I'm not a government. I'm a non-profit organization called Humanity Helping Sudan, addressing a need for refugees. And that's what I do. I'm not a government. I don't try to be a government. So that's what this conception that you have when you're from Africa, when you're from part, and the economy is coming. You go to Kibera in Nairobi, Kenya, you will see now the street is very busy. You go to Addis Ababa, Addis Ababa, Bali, you will see the economy is moving. You go to Botswana, you will see also the economy is getting better. I mean, change take a while. People need to understand.
Just to jump in on that, do you think that the role, I guess, of a migrant in your country, as you're I guess you're a representative of your home country, do you think the onus is on you to kind of change those perceptions, or to integrate directly into society and kind of maybe perhaps even lose your heritage in order to integrate?
I mean, it's both, because when I was refugees myself. I lived there for 13 years, and I was something called the Lost Boy of Sudan, which is a group of unaccompanied minor that run to know, but it didn't change the fact that I am from Sudan, and if my life changed it, I won't help those who live with a long time. But come to the fact that, I understand there's a lot of questions people won't know, and that's why I posted the video. Actually, the video called Silly Question About Africa, people laugh because it's like, okay, I didn't get mad, I didn't get too mad, and I didn't get too hungry. And I just say, okay, this is what people ask you, and a lot of questions that people be asking me. And people like it, and access, and people post it on their website. It was something to create that people can understand Africa differently. Not everybody who come from Africa always just have no money and be poor and broke. And no, not everybody who was born in Africa is sick and has nothing to do in the world. People are smart, and who built the station in the guy from South Africa is actually building a satellite in I go there like a month ago. He's building the station. They're like going up the sky. Whatever the name. I didn't know. Yeah, he's building it. This is from Africa. He was born there, and I mean, the problem of this is hunger, like food. If you have agricultural resources, water, those are the things that I spend my time with, because food is the only thing that people need to build. And Africa problem is two things. It's just power. The thing you need is energy. You need more energy, and that's very, very basic thing you need. You need a farming so people can farm more, and then they can produce their own food. I mean, aid is good, but aid is something that people give you temporarily. So.
And then just to build a little bit on what my colleague said, this idea of you know, when you go and you sort of travel and live abroad and you try to study somewhere else and you come from a different culture, it is sort of your duty as they call it a citizen diplomat. So to go and share and talk to people about your culture and about where you're coming from and what are some issues that people are facing where you're coming from, because don't make the assumption that everybody's knowledgeable and everybody has access to the same resources, so they know about, you know, if I'm coming from Transylvania or if he's coming from Africa, which is, you know, a country, right? I mean, we all know that, right? So I think this is sort of taken upon us as people who choose to live in another country, that we should share, you know, stuff about our issues about our the places where we're coming from, and try to break down one of those, you know, stereotypes of everybody's hungry or starving in Africa.
As young people, as young leaders, and you kind of touched upon it there, and you're saying, as you know, as a migrant, what your kind of duty is. What would you say, you know, young people can do? So National Youth Day, what can people do to kind of be more positive about this, and I guess be leaders and get engaged? What would you recommend?
I think introduce them to job market. I think if you introduce them to job market, not only they will create a job for themselves. A lot of people right now want to create a job that would help other people. You know, I've met a lot of them everywhere in the conference when I go to like a lot of people. I'm doing this, and I get excited. I'm like, wow, everybody have a job, want to do this now. Nobody's going to work for anybody anymore. But that's good, because everybody will invent in some things. And you know, even I went to Ireland myself, and with a group of people where you were from. So I went to Ireland and I see a group of young people making, it's like a Facebook, but not a Facebook. It's like a book, a book where they call it yearbook here in America, but they make it to form where it become a business. And I was like, wow, I bet that's good. And that's what you need, because, you know, building, especially Africa, need a building capacity, job marketing. Like, not only like you go there and opens, like factory will be the best now, but if you have a solar energy, like people need, because I'm big on farming and I'm big on energy. I'm trying to give, like, you know, a local farmer something they can, water irrigation system thing they can do. But I think Africa is a younger generation. It's not younger generation by saying, okay, people who live there never live older. There's some people who live older. I mean, Nelson Mandela is a famous person, but lived 94 years. There's a lot more people you can find like that. But what they say is, what they're saying is that, like, a lot of younger people tend to live there in Africa. I mean, that's political term of saying. And the economic is 7 out of 10, if I don't get a mistake. Yeah, so you introduce them to that job market. Okay, create your own kind of job. You know, introduce them how the world is coming into now. And that's what the young people need, a leadership, you know, skill to do things, building capacity and things like that. And I think, I was reading Nicole actually, I follow her on Twitter. She had the machine, like, trust me. She had the big machine that anybody over here would ever need. She come from the State Department, the USAID, and I was like, wow. I mean, why you working CIA? She had a big machine, and she worked with Clinton. If you go on her Twitter, you will see that she was a picture with Hillary Clinton. And you guys are very young too. Look, you are young and young over there and very young. So just build everything you can.